All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you, good afternoon to you, wherever you are. This is Jay Randy here. Thank you so much for joining me here. Let me apologize. I am a guy who loves to apologize to people. I've been very busy all day. So the scheduled time that I gave to you guys today, I wasn't able to meet that schedule. But please, it's always to be late and never to show up. So tonight we have a very interesting night. And let me do this thing here. Let's take my boy, how do you call it? My boy, Alanda King. He said this is the CEO for Nigeria. Alanda King, you are very interesting. All right. Alanda King is a very interesting boy, guy. I love him so much. And guys, good evening to every one of you guys here. Thank you so much for joining me here. It's always a pleasure to be here in your midst. So I promise you guys that today, Friday, I will be coming out with a series of the red file. I got a red file here today. All right. We'll be talking about the red folder. But let me say this to you guys. The entire red folder will not be discussed today. It will be discussed in series because if you recall, many of you guys asked me the last time, I think it was on Tuesday, to analyze this video here. All right. You guys wanted me to analyze this video. So our opening curtain today will be about these guys on the Spoon Talk when they had an interview with how they call it, with Mr. Wolokoli. So I am going to analyze not the entire video, but this section where Mr. Wolokoli came on and he started to talk about him. So I'm going to give you a character analysis. I'm going to give you a moral analysis. I'm going to give you an ethical analysis. I'm going to give you a professional analysis. Everything is on the table tonight. So I want you to come in here with an open mind and open heart. I look forward to your comment, and I'm not going to respond to all the comment. Tonight, we are broadcasting on my page. We are broadcasting in the environmental group. That's my group. I'm broadcasting on YouTube, and I'm broadcasting on Twitch. So I have 4 Saluna that is being blasted here today. And I would like to say thank you to every one of you guys. Not to waste your time, let me see. There are a few comments coming down here. Let me try to capture some of them. All right. There are a few comments coming here. Let me see these comments here. All right. Alanda says, good evening, bro. Yes, sir. Alanda King, good evening to you as well. I heard that you're doing a lot of great things back there in Liberia. Keep up a good job. I believe since you went to bury your brother, you are seeing things that really touch you and you are giving back. People who I talked to that came across you, they are very appreciative of you, Alanda King. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you very much. And let us keep our finger crossed. By the way, let me see. Hold on here, guys. I wanted to show you guys something. Let me go and grab it quick. Just hold on there. I just remember something. Where is it? Did I bring it here? Here. All right. That's something here to show you guys here. Now I was talking about Alanda King. So I got something to show you guys here. This is a Cisco new version phone. All right. So I'm thinking about giving it to somebody. If you are interested in it, let me know. Yes, let me know. All you have to do is you're going to pay for shipping and you're going to pay for the packaging. If you need it, be my guest. It's a brand new phone. I just got it, but I have another one. So it's here. The warehouse, if you ever watch Donald Trump, he used this phone in the warehouse. Very powerful phone. You can use it on the internet. You can communicate. In fact, at my office, I use the phone as well. And I thought it was to mirror that at home. So I have 2 of these, and I'm planning to give one out. Again, I'm not going to ship it to you. No, you will have to send me that money so that I can ship it to you. So if you are interested, inbox me and let me know. First come, first serve. I was speaking about Alanda King, and this came to my mind because my brother Alanda King is doing a great job back there in Liberia. And I just thought it was to remember that. So if you are interested, please be my guest and tell me your interest, and I'll be able to send it to you. I don't need nothing from nobody. I only need your blessing. Just tell me, say, God bless you. That's all. If you say God bless you, I'll be happy about it. Yes, that's all I'll believe in. All right. So let's see here again. Melvin Down said, I'm here taking note. Thank you very much, Melvin. Young kid like you, it's good that you listen to your generation before you so that you can be able to prepare yourself. Don't learn to be a one-minded person. You see, vision is not reality, Melvin Down. Vision is a roadmap that eliminates certain things but it has an objective to accomplish. Reality is the actuality of things that you see that cannot be unchanged so easily. So learn to see the vision and learn to understand the reality, and that will help you to move forward. So I appreciate you for coming back here and staying here. So guys, not to waste your time, the next person on the list tonight, if time permits, if time permits, if time permits here, we'll be talking about Mary Bro here. As you can see, this is Madame Bro. We'll be talking about Madame Bro. We'll go deep into Madame Bro, and I'll show you saw the video here, but we got more other video. Here's another one here again for Madame Bro here. All right. But I do have a presidential mandate. We'll be talking about Madame Bro and what Madame Bro. There you go. There you go, Madame Bro there. This is a very old video. This video you're watching, it is the video that really triggered Madame Bro of behaving the way she behaved today. So I'm going to give you a detail. And then after that, all right, after that, then we'll go into the photo and then we'll do a detail. But before we raise the curtain, let me just bring back, like my friend Alanta King said, the CEO here, the 1990-1991 CEO. Let's bring the CEO back, all right? So let's bring the CEO back. And
I was finished.
We will listen to the CEO. And then, before we listen to the CEO, let me do something small here for you guys right here, right? So I want you to listen to the CEO. So I'm going to blast the CEO up, and we're going to know who the CEO is. If you don't know the bio of Prince Johnson, I'm about to give it to you right now. I'm about to give that to you. So let's see here. Let me remove Melvin comment. I appreciate you, Melvin, very much. You're a promising kid. I look forward to you. Thomas, you Tommy, you see, I waited for your call. Your call never came. The moment I launched the show, your call came in. So I immediately text you back and say, hey, Tommy, I'm live. I waited for your call. I waited 8:30, you didn't call. I waited almost like 9:30, you didn't call. And by the time I launched, I was like, geez, my boss is checking on me right now. He's like, Randy, time is running out. So Tommy, let me just say, let me say, I'm sorry for coming late. I know you always checkmate me. I love that so much. Yes, I love that. All right. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thank you so much. So let's get to let's get to a few things here. So I'm going to blast Mr. Prince Johnson up here for you guys. And I'm going to make the screen very big so that we can read a bio of Prince Johnson. All right. So let me see what I can read about here. Prince Johnson right now. So let's see here. I'm going to read a bio here for Prince Johnson so that you can have the opportunity to know exactly who Mr. Johnson is. Yes. All right. So we're going to read a little bio here of Mr. Johnson. I don't know whether you prefer me to make it big like this or make it little. I'm watching it from my screen here. So if you want to make it big, that's fine. All right. I see a few people here are watching here, and welcome to everyone watching here today. So I'm going to read for you a bio of Mr. Johnson, as I said. But I think it will be better that I reduce the screen right here. Yes. Let me reduce the screen here. All right. Yeah, let me reduce the screen here a little bit so that you guys can get to see here. All right. All right. But again, before I go ahead to read that, let me split the screen. Let me join Mr. Johnson here so that you guys can see me here. All right. Let me just do it this way. All right. So let me do this here. I had a discussion with somebody, and I will before we come to Prince Johnson now. I had a discussion with somebody. All right. I had a discussion with someone who told me that I think in Nigeria, a 7-year-old baby was raped by two young people, two young Liberians. And the discussion was held on Spoon. And then the source informed me that Edwin Reverend Snow, who is now, I think, the senator in Birmingham, came on Spoon and decided to show some sympathy for the two rapists. I don't know what the substances are. I don't know the position of Mr. Snow, but let me remind you of something here. Let me remind you of something here about Mr. Snow. All right. I'm going to post this information. What I'm going to read for you, I'm going to post it on my page so you can take that as your reference. All right. I'm going to post it on my page so you can take that as a reference. Because what I'm going to be reading, I also want you to take that as an opportunity for you to understand who Mr. Snow is. Yes. All right. So let me come here and do this thing here because I'm about to post it. I'm about to post it right now. Let me see. I'll post it on my page and then I will post it also on here so that you guys can capture that. All right. It's going back to 2012. Yes. It's going back to 2012. Yes. That's something Mr. Snow did. And I just want you to remember Mr. Snow, what he did. Because there are times that we got to go back in time. That's one of the things that people don't help you understand on other shows, but I will do the best here that I can to make you guys understand here. So let me find my show here. I'm going to post it on my page. Yes, I'm going to post it on my page here. So I see myself broadcasting right now. So I am going to post it on my page here. And let me make that comment right there. All right. So I'm going to post it on my page. All right. Let me hit it. Enter. And there you go. That is the link right there. That link, I'm going to read something from that link. So for those of you that got a smartphone, check that out. All right. Check it out because I'm about to read something here. So this was back in 2012. 2012. Mr. Edwin Melvin Snow, all right, while he was represented in Musselwhite County, he asked a lady to walk naked and swim naked at his residence. If you click on that link, what I'm telling you right now, you will see it. You will see it. All right? And you will see all those who supported Mr. Snow behavior and those who did not support Mr. Snow behavior. The comment are all on there. So when Mr. Snow come in the defense of some rapists and want to say something, I just want you to understand that he has a history not similar to rape, but to bad behavior. And technically what Mr. Snow did, if that was in the United States here, he will be history today in the United States as a public official. But in Liberia, that's not the case. The lady who admitted receiving $1,000 from Mr. and I'm reading it in part. The lady who admitted receiving US $1,000 from Musselwhite County District Number 6 Representative Edwin Snow to dance naked at a bachelor eve of a Liberian journalist had denied report that she parade star naked at Snow residence last Friday. The reason Snow went after the lady is because if you read that story, the U.S. State Department got very concerned about Snow behavior, and there was something they were planning to do, and Snow, as you know it, went out there. But I just thought to bring that to you guys a little bit here, all right? So let us come back to Prince Johnson here, all right? Let's come back to Prince Johnson here. So who is actually Prince Johnson? I'm going to give you a little bow of Prince Johnson here. So I want you to bear with me here, all right? So a little bow of Prince Johnson. Prince Y. Johnson, all right? I'm reading his bio now for you. Prince Y. Johnson was born July 6, 1952, is a Liberian politician and the current senator from Nima County. A former rebel leader, Johnson played a prominent role in the First Liberian Civil War, in particular capturing, torturing, humiliating, and executing President Samuel Doe. So it's one of the bad things that Prince Johnson is suffering from today. Yes. So let's make our man picture bigger here than ourselves so you guys can get to see him. All right. So that's some of the characteristics that he has today. All right. He have today. So a former rebel leader, Johnson played a permanent role in the First Liberian Civil War, in particular, capturing, torturing, mutilating, like cutting somebody's ear up. That's what he did. And all right, mediating and executing President Samuel Kanyando. He didn't even say Samuel Kanyando, but he said President Samuel Kanyando. All right, who had himself overthrown and murdered the previous President William R. Tuggle. Moving down the home here, let's go down here with Prince Johnson. All right, let's go down with Prince Johnson. All right, let's go down here. Prince Johnson, early life. What did Prince Johnson do when he was young? You guys, many of you guys were young people. What did Prince Johnson? What did he do when he was young? Let's look at his early life. All right, Prince Johnson, early life. Johnson was born in Tapetan, Nima County, in the east central interior of the country, and was brought up by an uncle in the capital city of Monrovia. In 1971, I don't know where you guys were in 1971. In 1971, while living in Monrovia, he joined the Liberia National Guard. How many of you guys know about Liberia National Guard? None of you guys know about Liberia National Guard. Who a few of you guys will know this sort of thing here. So we want to understand who Prince Johnson is before we start to discuss him, right? All right, because I want to give you a historical perspective of Prince Johnson. So in 1971, Mr. Prince Johnson started living in Monrovia. His first step as a young man, he joined the Liberia National Guard, the LNG, which was transformed into the Armed Forces of Liberia. Man, been around for a long time. All right. In the aftermath of Samuel Kanyando 1980 overthrow of President William R. Tuggle, all right, he rose to the rank of lieutenant, receiving military training in both Liberia and the United States. So Prince Johnson is not stranger here. All right, he's not stranger here, where he was instructed in the military police duty in South Carolina. Yes. So Prince Johnson being in the United States, he got a military training. So this is just information for you. All right. It's stern and often draconian disciplinarian. He served as aide-de-camp to General Thomas Kuongwa. So you see, Prince Johnson was hanging out with General Kuongwa back in the days. Yes. Again, guys, you are listening to Tiwata discussion. This is not a political entertainment. This is not a political gossip. The Tiwata is a discussion of current issue happening in our country. What are the challenges? What can we do to fix the problem? This is why I'm here. I'm not here to entertain you on any political situation. The information I'm releasing to you right now, Mr. Johnson, if you're listening, I believe you will be nodding your head, say, yes, this guy is giving accurate information of me, because I want to represent what I discuss in my character and on my show. All right? So let's move on here. So Mr. Johnson served as an aide-de-camp to Thomas Kuongwa, all right, of the Armed Forces of Liberia, and accompanied him into exile in 1983. So when Kuongwa left in 1983, Prince Johnson also followed him, all right, and were accused of plotting against Samuel Kanyando. Now, let's come back to the Civil War now. Liberia Civil War and Prince Johnson, all right? Johnson later allied with Charles Taylor as part of the National Patriotic Front of Liberia, NPFL, serving as the National Patriotic, the NPFL Chief Training Officer. Yes, so Prince Johnson was the Chief Training Officer. Taylor further crossed the border from the Ivory Coast and began operation in Liberia on the eve of Christmas, and that is coming up very shortly. It's coming up very, very shortly. All right. An internal power struggle resulted in Johnson breaking off from the NPFL and forming the independent INPFL. Despite the intervention in the Civil War by ECOMO, the Economic Community of West African State Monitoring Group, ECOMO, INPFL forces captured most of Monrovia in the late summer of 1990. All right. During the Civil War, Johnson was notorious for killing anyone who opposed or criticized his action. So we're looking at the main characteristic now during the war. All right. When Hurricane devotee who were disturbing food. All right. So there was a guy by the name of Harry, I think Kanisha devotee, who were distributing food to starving people in Monrovia in the midst of the chaos of the Civil War, sent him a letter begging him to stop killing people. He personally orchestrated a murder of Haline Divas, Bon Lena Jury, 5 of student of Bank of and 5 of her student on the bank of St. Paul River. That's what he did. He killed these people. And guys, this thing is coming from a very, very detailed website. The source will be disclosed, but not now. All right. So somebody sent letter to Mr. Johnson begging him to send food, to start killing the people. He went and killed that person and killed 5 of the person's students as well around the St. Paul River. So we need a lot of anthropologists. People need to start digging certain part of Liberia to uncover the people bones and bring them to justice. Killing of Samuel Kanyando in 1990, all right, claim to power. Prince Johnson fled to Nigeria. I won't be able to read all these things here, all right? I won't be able to read all these things here. But let me come to the TRC report. Let me come to the TRC section here. In June 2009, final report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was established as part of the 2003 peaceful deal, the TRC recommended Johnson inclusion on a list of 50 people who should be specifically barred from holding public office, elected or appointed for a period of 30 years for being associated with former warring faction. Johnson labeled the recommendation as a joke. Yes, he said it was a joke and nothing the absence of several others combatants from the list. All right. So that was Mr. Johnson there. And then we'll come back here and stuff like that. All right. So we'll talk about this another time, but that's just a snapshot of Mr. Johnson. Now you know who Mr. Johnson is. Let's come to the video here and listen to Mr. Johnson a little bit here. All right. So let's listen to Mr. Johnson here and hear what he has to say. And then we'll move on to our next discussion.
We zijn hier in Liberia, een land dat verscheurd werd door oorlog. We staan hier voor het huis van Prince Johnson. Dat is de man die het oor afsneed van de verschrikkelijke dictator Samuel Doe. Wij hebben het geluk dat we mogen interviewen.
I captured the president, Samuel Doe. I was finished with war. So that means 9 months I fought. 9 months I fought. I came December 24th, 1989 to Liberia. And I walked my way from the border Ivory Coast to the capital. September 9, 1990, Samuel Doe was captured.
So I will skip the part here because it's very graphic, guys. I will skip the part because it's very graphic. I will skip it because it's very graphic. And I don't want to violate any community rule by Facebook. So I will skip the part here. Many of you guys have seen the video, so I will skip this part. I'm going to skip the part here. It's very graphic, so be with me and let's see it, how it's going. Okay, so we just bring it a little bit back here and then we play this.
And that was the end of the war for me. I never fought again. The war went on for 14 years. I fought only 9 months. If I were the most notorious war criminal, Nigeria peacekeeping force under the watchful eyes of the international community would never have taken me from here with my family for safety in Nigeria. But war can never be clean anyway. So we always ask the Liberian people, look here we are. Forgive us for our role. We came to remove what we call the dictator. In the process of removing him, there was a tense war. And when 2 elephants fight, the grass must suffer. So we are sorry for our role. We have sincerely apologized to the people of Liberia before the TRC. We've done it from time to time. People in Liberia know me to be very principled. When I say this, is that. And I keep my integrity in tight by doing what I say and saying what I do and being committed to what I believe. But we have all the monies from our resources that have been massively looted. And the people want change. Change that will involve the people themselves, not change for the betterment of those in power. And so I am that agent of change. first thing, the Liberian people no longer want an old lady. She's our mother. She's old now. And she needs to rest. As the first woman president in Africa, let her be the first woman president to honorably retire after one term, the Mandela. May God bless her. And I hope that she will change her mind. Otherwise, they will meet disgrace, political disgrace, on the battlefield of politics. We'll defeat them.
All right, guys. So that was Prince Johnson in 2010. Yes, our Prince Johnson there in 2010. I don't know what you make of that video, but I look forward to your comment. One thing I took away from that video is the fact that he's talking about looting of the resources. But if you read the report, and if you haven't done so, from the U.S. Treasury, Mr. Johnson is being accused of mortgaging the natural resources deal, not just in Nema County, but in the country as a whole. He is part of the Senate that signed 66 Booker deal. You heard the man. He wanted Ellen to retire in what? One term, after one term, but the 66 Booker deal was signed in Ellen's second term. See, when people say things, you don't have to take their word for it 100%. You have to follow them and see what the end result will be. Mr. Johnson, what he said in 2010, the video you just watched, is not the reality. Where is my Peking Melvin Dime? I told you that the vision is not the same as reality, right? Now, Liberians, many of you guys are talking about the implementation. I don't know where it's Sunday, but let me see what time it's in Liberia. There is about 2:21. I think Sunday Boy is sleeping. But I'm calling Sunday Boy name because he always call for the establishment of the World Economic Crime Court. Let me tell you what the Senate ended. All right. So let's open your red folder here. And I will attempt to bring the thing close to the camera here so you can see here. All right. Let's see here. I'm sure you can see this here. It says what? Draft statute, extraordinary criminal tribunal. You see, after the TRC hearing, Jerome Verdier and other people drafted a statute to establish a criminal court in the country on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I will just read part of it, especially item number 1. It says, and it reads, in order to implement the recommendation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of the Republic of Liberia to establish an extraordinary criminal court for Liberia, an internationalized domestic court to combat a culture of impunity, secure justice for victims, and ensure that Liberia adheres to respect and protect prevailing international human rights and humanitarian law standard. An extraordinary criminal court for Liberia hereafter is hereby established. Yes, there is a court that's supposed to be established in our country. But you know who's supposed to be pushing the court? The national legislature, that include both representatives and what? The senators. But most of the guys in that place, they are nobody else but a bunch of former warlord, corrupt individuals. And many of you guys will sit on different platforms and nobody will at least give your heads up. The document is here. Document is here. It's here. But you see, I believe many of our fellow Liberians out there, they love entertainment. They love gossip. So they tend to miss the important things that's supposed to move our country forward. And you see, what we're doing in a generation, we are also adding more years to the existence of Liberia, of not being a country that is making progress. You see, from 1847 to 1980, those who were aged enough to see what happened in 1980 and those who were aged in all the prior year before 1980 and did nothing, we blame them when we were the young generation in the 1980s. Today, We are the super outgoing generation now, but we are in 2021, and we are around 174 years. So technically, we are also negatively contributing to the underdevelopment, the no progress of our country in today's generation. We are not helping at all. We are not helping. So 20 years from now, or by the year 2047, when our independence will make us 200 years old, not the 1822 that they come to celebrate in January, because to me that means nothing. All right? It means nothing. We are just wasting their time to celebrate the bicentennial next year. They mean nothing. They put in the interior, the suffering there, no road, nothing going on. The people don't even have satellite. I mean, they don't even have internet, no electricity. I don't know what they're going to celebrate bicentennial for. Maybe 12 already told we are, let's go and celebrate it here. Like I told 12 this morning. 12, I'm not saying Mr. Weir is a bad man, but I just want you to understand that what you're doing, you are signing every document in terms of financial support to that country. It is your signature that is on there. It is not we are signature. Let me tell you one thing, Mr. Tuan. You see what Brandon Samuka catching hard done today? Let me rewind every one of you guys. Brandon Samuka was held in the military, right? They took more money from the military people, right? And he said Ellen told him to use the money. What did Ellen say when they asked Ellen a few times? And who in trouble today? And who relaxing? Brandon Samuka is in trouble today. Ellen is relaxing. We are listening to Ellen a lot. We are is playing in Ellen playbook. We are got a little book. They call it Learn from Ellen. We are can get it and just read it. It is. Do not sign no document. Let your minister then sign the document. We may think that we are is a fool, but he's not a fool. He allowing Minister Tuer to sign all the documents. So think about Mr. Brandon Samuka, the situation he finds himself in today. Think about that. All right. So the establishment of the war crime court, it was something that our people rejected, we refused. So as I said, in our day-to-day, we are also contributing to the underdevelopment of our country by not being Liberia-centric, but only supporting our political party. So let's rest the Prince Johnson case. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time now for us to come to this video here. This video or this recording is being brought to you by you guys. You guys are the in Liberia. You guys are the one who asked me to analyze the discussion. So we're going to move this. We're going to move it up to here. We're going to move it up to here. All right. We're going to move it up to here. 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 No, let's do something here. Let's go forward. Because your so-called CEO, he was in a car driving, and he was anxiously trying to get to work. I mean, to the place there. So let's keep moving it until he gets in a position where he's sitting at home. There you go, right here. So this is where the analysis is going to start, ladies and gentlemen. The show is on.
Now, the budget priority of the government versus the allocation of towards education, health, and other basic needs for Liberian people undermines education and healthcare and objectives of your government. Because we look at it, for instance, you have in your budget, you have for recurring expenditure, you'll be spending $640.
Okay, first of all, guys, let me just ask you guys this question here, right? All the people you see here, have they told you what they do for a living? All these people here, have they told you what they do for a living in America after they are done with this broadcast and they go their separate way and wait until the next day? Have they told you what they do for a living? Well, I'll be interested in getting to know. And don't put your personal feeling in here, whether it is Mr. Sanvi, whether it is Dr. Francaire, whether it is Mr. Kev Hassan, or your so-called CEO, Mr. Termini. I don't know what they do for a living, all right? And the program they got, I don't know whether they have a web page where you can go and read about their activities, what they do for a living in this country. The reason I'm trying to make you to understand this thing here is in order to begin to listen to people, you must get to know who they are. So I just thought to bring that out here. All right. So let me progress.
$3.2 million. Okay. Now, as compared to services for the Liberian people, that according to your own PAP,
the both elected appointed officials just speak the language of the Liberian people. You're confusing us if you talk. Look, we've been reading not to call indeterminate question. You Samura PZ Water Party, PhD, CFE, CA, CPA, FCFIP, FIPA. You have all those acronyms. So it's just simple. It's nothing hard for you. You can memorize this thing. And just let me simple tonight. The money what is attributing? What is contributing to the confusion? He's talking about recurrent expenditure. I'm trying to unpack recurrent expenditure.
Let me just put this there. You say we should praise you guys. No, how we have?
Yes, it's the first time that vehicles.
I want to look straight in the eyes of the speaker.
I'm moving it. Who's accounting for it? Who's accounting for that money?
The National Port Authority.
Let me do something here, guys. Let me do something here. You see, okay, let me just try to balance the thing here right now here. You see some of the reason I don't watch these guys, and there's no hard feelings here. Men like Benjamin Sanvi, and I'm sure many of you guys know what he did in our country. Men like Benjamin Sanvi, when Liberian men say men like Benjamin Sanvi, want to ask someone about who accounting for money, really? And you sit there and say nothing. And that CEO sit over there. And he always say, oh, for the sake of the Liberian people, for the sake of the Liberian people. When men like Benjamin Sanvi coming out to ask Mr. Wolokoli, who account for the money. Let me just give you a rewind here. Benjamin Sanvi lied to the Liberian government during the early administration that he had several businesses and took 45 United States dollars and lied to the auditor by giving them false addresses, and they never found those addresses. And in the end, he fled the country. He fled his responsibility. And today, he's sitting on a platform. And many of you guys out there, sit there and see that as an important thing to watch. And then you want the country to move forward. These guys you're looking at here, they're not going to change anything. They're not going to make any difference. You already know their character. So he asking, who's going to account for the money? Really? Really? You live in America here. I want you to call me after the show and tell me where you have gone to borrow money and you never pay. And nothing happened to you in this country. Call me. Call me about any institution in the United States where you went and borrowed $2 and nothing has happened to you. That's the only way you will not understand where I'm coming from when it comes to people with integrity and people with bad integrity. And they don't want to sit there and watch these guys. What are you guys really learning, folks? I would rather go and see a cow shitting on the field than to sit here and watch these guys, especially the men that Ben Sanvi, to be asking people questions where he himself is indebted to the Liberian people. Nobody dare say anything. You think when the United States U.S. Treasury Department say Liberians should acknowledge that they are corrupt, the lack of transparency, the lack of accountability. You think the message only going to George Weah? It's going to everyone who sit on spoon and listen to Benjamin Senvi, who is not transparent in paying our people money back, who ran away from his own accountability to repay the money back, and you're sitting down there. So you guys are also part of all those characteristics. You guys are hiding transparency. You guys are running away from accountability. You guys are not following the rule of law. And that's why you're watching man Benjamin Senvi on that show, being supported by the so-called CEO. I don't see any CEO in the United States here. Even if it's a CEO of a janitorial company, they will not put anybody with tinted character as Benjamin Senvi on any panelist or any platform to talk for them. But only in Liberia. You see, when I tell you guys that I don't live in the United States of Liberia, this is what I mean. I will not sit to watch Mr. Benjamin Senvi, who is indebted to the government of Liberia, took money away from innocent and poor people in Liberia and sitting there in America here, enjoying good life. Yes, enjoying good life. You see, when people deprive Prince Johnson and put sanctions on him, it's because the U.S. feel that Prince Johnson is taking advantage. He is an advantage taker of the innocent people in Liberia as a senator who don't represent the people's interests. So the U.S. Treasury came in and stopped him, sanction him. So when you sit here and watch Benjamin Senvi, another advantage taker who took the Liberian people money and ran away and is yet to pay that money, and then you sit here, you sit on spoon and watch him and say nothing, then you are also rewarding Mr. Benjamin Senvi behavior. And I want to get that message to you. So let me progress here. We are analyzing again. We're not here for political entertainment. Benjamin Senvi is an individual with a very nasty character. He is financially irresponsible. Do not trust Mr. Senvi with anything. If you ever go co-sign for Mr. Benjamin Senvi in this country, if I need to advise you, go take that chance. Go take that chance with Benjamin Senvi and go co-sign for a house, a car, or anything. Go co-sign for Benjamin Senvi in America here. And when you will get to know that the United States of Liberia you live in, it will not be the United States of America you live in. I'll take that advice back. Go co-sign for Benjamin Senvi in this country and see what happened to you. When you are financially negligent, when you are financially irresponsible, we don't value you in this country. You don't fit anywhere. And as a man want to come ask Samuel Motokodi, who is in charge of that money, when he himself, $45,000 cannot even make a payment plan. Many of you guys on the platform here, you got student loan debt, you got mortgages to pay, and other stuff. And here you guys are. You know what? Let me hold on Benjamin Senvi small and say something to you guys. Let me blow the screen over here. You know, somebody called me today and said, Jay Randy. I said, yeah. He said, man, I said, Kalasko making, you saw that house? I said, what do you mean by Segu Kalasko got house? He said, yeah, Segu got house. I said, did they give you the appraisal of the house? He said, no, but I think that house is almost like $700,000. I said, really? He said, yes. I said, so how much Segu Kalasko makes? He said, I don't know, but the men are aide to the president. So let me say this to Mr. Kalasko. We'll hold on Benjamin Senvi already. We are beating him enough so far. All the government officials in our country who are building mansions, you don't need a rocket science to know that they are stealing from the government. Here is why and how. Sekou Kalasko is drawing a paycheck every month, right? Let's say Sekou Kalasko getting maybe $2,000 every month. Sekou Kalasko been there for what? For 4 years now, right? If Sekou Carrasco built a home that is estimated to be over $350,000 or $250,000, how much of that paycheck that Sekou Carrasco earned, that he has saved, that is equivalent to building a house? Is it a possibility? No, it is not. So if Sekou Carrasco is building a home that is over $500,000, he is stealing also. Here is why. His paycheck cannot afford him to build a house within a short period of time. Sekou Carrasco did not win any Liberian National Lottery that gave him millions of dollars. Because when you win that kind of money, you can build a house, right? Sekou Carrasco got no trace of going to any bank to loan him that money to build a house. If none of those things apply to Sekou Carrasco, and Carrasco got a big home, then Carrasco is stealing. Why? Those are all who live in America here. You're working, right? You get your car, you drive it. Did you take your paycheck and bought that car? Yes, you did. However, you did it indirectly because you took a portion of your money based on the system that was set up here, and you make a deposit down with the hope of paying that car dealership or that bank that gave you a large chunk of that money to get that car or to get a house. That will separate you from not being stealing. Because if you get a big house, man, that man paying car no. Of course, he paying car no. How much the car was? 45,000, 80,000. Well, that's his pleasure. But the fact that he works and he went through a bank or through the car dealership itself to get a house, a car, he's not stealing. He's just working hard to get a car. Now, take this to Liberia. These guys don't get money from the bank. They are not millionaires. They are not won the lottery, and they pay no BB homes. We get their paycheck. I leave that one with you. That is stealing in itself. So when any of them tell you say they got big mansion, ask them how much do you make annually? Did you get the money from the bank? You see, when they asked Nathaniel Mangiel, when he got out for her, he said the money came from the bank, because at that time, Nathaniel Mangiel could not tell anybody at that time that the money he was making at that time could afford him to buy that $265,000 home. Because it was in no way that Nathaniel Mangiel could get a house. So Nathaniel Mangiel defaulted to the bank. Because he little guy who smiled a little bit, because he know people from the diaspora, know how things work to people getting big home. So he played smart. I went to the bank, but that information could not be substantiated. So that is my answer for Sekou Carrasco and all those. Those guys that building BB, all the government officials that building BB houses, they are stealing. If no bank in our country loan them money to build a house, and they tell you they're building a house by themselves, think about what I just told you. They are literally stealing for the people. You in the country here, you got a car, you even got your TV, you even got a house. It is not your paycheck that put it down. You complement it in some ways. Unless you got a big settlement, maybe you got involved in an accident and they gave you money. That still will not afford you to waste your money. You have to save some money and draw some from the bank because they had the system working. It's not happening in Liberia. So let's move on to Benjamin Sanvia and let's play our conversation here.
We'll be able to do that. Wow.
So Dr. Samora Wodokoli, man, thank God you are in the seat tonight, sir. Can you give us a little?
Now, this is where now the whole setup started. You see, when your so-called CEO, he had not perfected his game, and I want you to understand how he operates. There is somebody now who is in a corner and trying to humiliate the public officials now. We all know they are corrupt. Whoever built a monster called Spoon, they are ready now to humiliate their own people. They are ready to humiliate their own people. And Mr. Witherspoon now is double dealing now. When you hear him say, now, Mr. Wodokoli, and I'm not going to call him right, It's good to be here. Now, tell me about yourself. I want to remind you that Mr. Wolokoli was already on the show when Mr. Witherspoon was in his car. That means Mr. Wolokoli had already gone the spicing of that interview or introducing himself. This guy was only here today or on that day to talk about the budget. But that was not the intention of Mr. Witherspoon, because he wanted to humiliate this guy. Somebody told him to do that. So let's listen, and I want you to listen very carefully, because this is when I'm going to rip things apart now. All right? So let's listen now.
Little history about yourself. What were you doing prior to you taking on the position as deputy minister?
Oh, I've been a professional for over 15 years, if you don't mind. I've worked with accounting firms. I work with Voscom. I work with PKF. I work with Baker Tilly. Later on, I established my own accounting firm. I run an accounting firm in Liberia. Currently, I'm an owner in an accounting firm.
Do you have any business that subcontract with the Liberia Electricity Corporation?
Now, if you listen to Mr. Wolokoli, he gave a background of what he did for a living. At least Mr. Wolokoli at this time has been very honest. But when you ask Mr. Witherspoon over there that you're looking at to tell you about himself, he will not do it. He will not do it, because he knows that any information he releases on his show, we will go after it in this country and we will find it. But he doesn't want to do that. But I want you to come back again to Mr. Wolokoli. He said he worked with different companies and he part of a consulting firm that he partly owned, and he specified that. Now, Mr. Witherspoon is coming on now and talking about contract. So that means Mr. Witherspoon was running home. He had a document that already sent him, and he just wanted the interview to go slowly and slowly. And then I went and he was struck. And that's how he started now. Listen to him now. Leaving from the man telling us who he is, what he does for a living, instead of piggyback on that question, he's now bringing in what? A consultant and other businesses. He turning the whole thing now upside down. That's who he is. Let me progress here.
Operation LEC?
No.
Now, he asked the guy whether he doing any subcontracting with LEC. And the man said, no. Let me go back to that something again so you can listen to it again. Let's go back. I won't talk again. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit.
Do you know the business? Let me just be there real quick. I'm trying to establish something over here, sir, if you don't mind, please. I understand that you have any business directly or indirectly that you are connected to that have something to do with LEC, sir? Let me reframe the question like that before I move on.
You said?
Do you have any business directly or indirectly that?
Now, before we come to that indirectly, let me bring you back again. He's up to something here. And this guy, you know, is like, Stanton is acting like an alligator in a dark water, creeping little by little. And Mr. Wolokoli is like an antelope just drinking in our water. But because the water is dark, Stanton is creeping like the alligator, ready to strike. I want you to keep that capture in your mind. So let me roll the tape back again so you can understand exactly what I'm trying to say here.
Contract with LEC.
I'm going too far. Let's start here.
I don't understand the question, CEO.
Do you have any company? Do you have an LLC, directly or indirectly, that you involved with? That have something to do with the Liberia Electricity Corporation?
When you say that have something to do with Liberia Electricity Corporation, what do you mean? I don't understand the question. Ask the question directly, CEO. Let me answer you.
Sir.
So you see what happening there now? He's trying to play him. Because when the man told him that he had a consulting firm and he's a partner, that put Mr. Woodokoli in a very neutral position. And that defeated Mr. Witherspoon. But he don't want to let go. He paraphrasing the question now. And in the mind of Mr. Woodokoli, he's getting to understand that something is not adding up. And like you see a shadow moving, you're not too sure whether it's a shadow or it's an actual creature. That is exactly what Mr. Witherspoon is trying to do here. All right? All right. Let's go back again.
You're doing the budget, you've been collecting it. So can you tell us about that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I run, like I said. Yeah, but see, the point about it is that you have to be able to understand exactly, what exactly you're pointing to. So, like I said to you, I have run business.
I'm not saying in the past. I'm saying now. Do you have any businesses
But
that prior to you taking on the position as deputy minister?
Oh, I had a.
So I'm playing again. I'm not going to say anything now.
I've been a professional for over 15 years, if you don't mind. I've worked with accounting firms. I work with Voscom. I work with PKF. I work with Baker Tilly. Later on, I established my own accounting firm. I run an accounting firm in Liberia. Currently, I'm an owner in an accounting firm.
Do you have any business that subcontract with the Liberia Electricity Corporation, LEC?
No.
Do you know the business?
Now, God, let me tell you what a subcontracting is, right? Remember the story I told you guys way back how God gave me a ticket and stuff like that? A subcontractor is technically a third party to the process. So let me pick on somebody here. All right. Let me pick on somebody here right now here. And guys, thank you so much for listening to me here. Let me pick on Lawrence here. All right. Let me pick on Lawrence here. All right. Tommy, you don't understand what I'm talking about, so just listen. All right. Mr. Witherspoon is fishing. That's not a hardcore question. He's fishing. So let me speak on Lawrence here. So Lawrence, I'll pick on Lawrence. The question Mr. Witherspoon is asking is not applicable. It makes no sense. Subcontracting, let's say if Lawrence is here and Lawrence went directly to a company and got that contract, but the contract project is so large, Lawrence need to complete that project, but the size of Lawrence employees cannot do that job. Lawrence will have to take that job and go outside and subcontract that job. That is the position that Mr. Woodokoli found himself in. But because Mr. Stanton Witherspoon don't understand these things, and he feels that many Liberians who just love political drama, he thinks what he's saying makes sense. But if you run projects, if you are a project manager, and you understand subcontracting, and you understand a contractor project, you will know what he's trying to drive at. So let's listen to him now. Read this question that he's trying to make his case. Let's listen. But now at least you know a subcontractor is not the person who is talking to that person. No. It's like somebody telling them, my man, they put me to the party, can't go with me. You that calling that man, you are the one who technically inviting that man to go to that party. The original person who invited you to that party don't even know you exist. So whatever that person tell you to do on a contract, you will now become the boss to that party that you bring it on board. That is the subcontracting he's asking this guy about. So let's listen now. Keep that in mind. Let's listen to the question.
Let me just be direct real quick. I'm trying to establish something over here, sir, if you don't mind, please. I understand that you have any business directly or indirectly that you are connected to that have something to do with LEC, sir. Let me reframe the question like that before I.
Now you see how dumb he is now. He came up with the subcontracting, a guy kickback. Now he's talking about, are you doing any business with LEC? Technically, Mr. Wolokoli is doing things for LEC, but is he the direct contact to LEC? Let's find out. Let's listen. But he's trying to put that in the first person place, so to speak, that Mr. Wolokoli is doing business. So listen to the drama here. Listen to the drama.
I'll move on.
You said?
Do you have any business directly or indirectly that contract with LEC?
Now, you see, he asking the question directly or indirectly. That means the source of his information is not right. He didn't read the detail of his information. You can't ask questions like that when you're not too sure about these things. You see, this guy is a con artist. He's perfecting now his con artist behavior right before many of you guys that watched them. Are you a girl or a woman? You look like a woman, but you look like a man. Are you a girl or a woman? Why are you asking such a stupid question? Let's listen here more.
I don't understand the question, CEO.
Do you?
Of course, the guy will not understand the question because the CEO doesn't even know where the man stands. He don't have enough information about this guy, what he does. So he's trying to play the game of two dice. It will be 6 and 6. And the guy tells it, I don't understand. So he wants Mr. Wolokoli now want your so-called CEO now to come clean with the answer. But CEO knows he already asked the first question and the man said no. He's a subcontractor. But that did not settle too well with him. So he's trying to play it like this. But Mr. Wolokoli is trying to understand his mindset now. So let's listen to the drama again.
Do you have any company? Do you have an LLC, directly or indirectly, that you involved with?
Now, what does it mean by do you have an LLC? Do you have any company? Do you have an LLC? What is an LLC? You see, he wants to play it smart, but he's not smart at this game. He doesn't understand the game. He doesn't understand the game. That is just exposing him now. That is just exposing him. He doesn't understand the detail of this thing.
That have something to do with the Liberia Electricity Corporation.
When you said I have something to do with Liberia Electricity Corporation, what do you mean? I don't understand the question.
Thank you. Thank you. When you say that has to do with Liberia Electricity Corporation, you see, instead of him asking the guy, yeah, will be the best question here. Mr. Wolokoli, yes. Do you have a company out there? Yes. Would you mind explaining to us what your company does? And let Mr. Wolokoli explain. I have a company, for example, we subcontract with the Liberia Electricity Corporation. Oh, for real? Yes. Tell me how your subcontracting work in this example, in your understanding. And then if Mr. Wolokoli start to explain about what his subcontracting means, how he get the contract, then of course you open the Liberian people mind to understand what is wrong in the process and what is not wrong in the process. He doesn't want to follow the procedures question. He wants to target the question for the guy to answer, and it's not right. It's like, I'm telling you, yeah, you are Liberian, you are Pele man, you are Gil man. No. Yes, where are you from? Oh, I'm a Liberian. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I'm a Liberian, I'm from River G, I'm from this, I'm from that. Oh, I didn't know that. But he wants to start to pin the man to the wall. And now the man is telling him, I don't understand your question. But he's up to something. But he's not good at his game because he got no experience whatsoever of the question he's asking, especially as it relates to contract and subcontractor. He got no clue about it. He got no clue. That's not his area. He had done nothing in that area to understand. He's only referring from that paper that he gave him. But he's not good at reading that paper at all.
The question directly, CEO. Let me answer you.
Sir, I asked you a question. You said no, and I'm trying to make the question very simple for you. Do you have, with the exception of your position, do you have any company in Liberia?
Didn't the man tell you guys that he got a consulting firm? A consulting firm technically is a company. He is part of a subcontracting company. He runs a subcontracting company. Isn't that a company? You see, yeah, you need to open your mind. You need to open your mind. You need to open your mind. You got to compete with people in Sierra Leone. You got to compete with people from Guinea. You got to compete with people from Ghana. You can't sit here and allow these guys then to just continue to belittle your mind. Let me progress.
Yes, I do. Yes, I run. Like I said to you, I run businesses.
Now, serving as deputy minister. I'm not saying in the past. I say now. Do you have any businesses?
But all the businesses I had in the past, I still run those businesses as well.
Thank you. But first of all, you said no. Is any of your business in contract?
That's a lie. He lied right there. The man did not say no. The man did not say no. You see, this guy is a funny. Yes, this guy is a crook. When you're watching this guy, next time you'll pay attention to his character behavior. His character is very dynamic. The man did not tell him no about anything. He did not tell him no about anything. The man just told him a few minutes ago that he doesn't have a direct connection to the LDC. He subcontract. That's what he does. He subcontract. But because he's trying to pin this man of something that he doesn't have no clue about, he's trying to make himself to look good and tell the man you don't have a company. He's lying. And he's faking you guys.
What did I say? What did I say no to?
Sir, can I finish, please?
Correct. You hear the man? The man just asking, what did I say no to? And you will imagine that he will answer that question, but he won't answer that question because he knows that question will embarrass him. And the answer will prove him to be someone who is misleading himself.
Please, sir. Is any of your businesses that you are directly or indirectly attached to have any affiliation or contract with any governmental entity or ministry?
Well, I have a business that I have several businesses, if you don't mind. I run and I own an accounting firm.
Watching. You see a face down here? He's actually looking at information that was shared with him. You see your so-called CEO here? You see a face bending down here? He's cheating on something that is shared with him. And because he never read that thing in detail, he's cheating on those things. This is a fake information. He needs to publish that information so that you out there can get to see who is the source and where those information are coming from. This guy is one of the biggest con artists you're looking at here. He's fake. He's not real. He's fake. He's using you guys. He's using you guys. But let's see again.
Right? I'm the co-owner of an accounting firm in Liberia. To the best of my collections, yes, we do have, we work for private and public sectors, as a matter of fact. But of course, we definitely make, opportunity to get businesses done, and we compete equally to do work.
Are you serious when you say you compete equally, sir? You're serving as
deputy minister.
Isn't this a conflict of sir, hold on. We're gonna have a good conversation tonight. Isn't this
of course I'm serious.
Isn't this a conflict of interest? You serving as a deputy.
Why make a conflict of interest? You see, the guy is so dumb that he doesn't understand. The man explained to him. He kept saying, we have a company, we compete. Right at that junction, he should ask the man to say, can you explain to us how your company compete? And that will give you the opportunity to clearly understand what Mr. Wolokoli will explain. That is the process. And then after the process has been explained, then you can determine whether there is a conflict of interest or not. Because when he said we, you don't know whether it is the partnership he talked about through the subcontracting process. You don't know whether he is part of the company, but it's not involved. But because the question comes out and he wants to be so kind to answer the question, but guess what he does? Isn't there a conflict of interest? What quantify a conflict of interest when he say we? And who are we he's talking about? Think in this guy's mind. He's embarrassing himself right now. You cannot determine a conflict of interest from an ambiguous statement. We participate in the process. The man has given thing. He's a co-owner, he subcontract, and they compete. We compete. Then because he said we compete, then you're ready to say this. Yeah, you're wasting your time. You guys are wasting your time behind the guys. Let's listen more.
How that your company bidding along with other.
The man said we, but now he turned it into your company. You see, he trying to personalize things against the man when the man said we. See, that's why it's important to allow people to explain themselves. Because when they explain themselves, you will get a clear and also a better understanding. The man said we, and you listen to that. But he's not following that. You're doing that. Because you know what? He knows the Liberian people don't, most of the Liberian, especially the opposition, they don't like the government. So he gave them garbage in and they'll give garbage out because that's what they like. So he played to the emotion of the Liberians that don't like the government. So he's not going to be very level out, as in what I'm saying right now, to level out the conversation. He's going to play it to the tune of the people. That's who the guy is. And I'm not going to sit here to allow the crap to happen. No, this guy is a crook. He's not in the Liberian people interest. He's not giving you any information. That is why the whole year things have been very, very bad for our country. He's one of the guy. The man said we, but he said your company. Is that what you call someone who call themselves CEO? Yeah, the one that the one that just low hanging fruit, we just pick them. Oh yeah, I'm gonna see you on this. Please, man, let's listen more.
Company and your company winning those bids.
Yeah, but CEO, you got to get something clear here. You know.
Now you listen to the last question, right? And your company winning bid. Did the man tell you that they won bid? Did the man tell you that they won bid? There you go.
And you need to
Because the
understand.
reason I'm asking you, Minister Samuel Twese said,
Is the environment?
Sorry, let me tell you the reason why I'm asking.
Now you see, this is where it boils down to now. The man is about to explain to you to understand, but he's not jumping out to Minister Samuel Twese. So he's not giving the man the opportunity to explain how things work. He did not allow you guys to fully understand this man. And let me say this. I ain't get a damn about Mr. Wolokoli because I know who the heck he is. What I want you to take away from me here, when someone pretends to be a so-called CEO and want to be a talk show host and doesn't understand the jargon of being a talk show, I have no question, no experience about how to answer questions, got no experience about any topic, and want to play one, we will come here to fact check them. Now he's going to Samuel Twese and trying to brush the man off from not explaining what you're supposed to learn from him. He's not doing that. So let's listen to his ignorance right now.
Asking you this question. Minister Samuel D. Twese on this show. If you know anyone that have the company, the businesses, and they are subcontracting with any government entity or ministry, tell us, and the president, myself, will deal with them.
Is that true? Is that true that Minister Twese came here and said if anybody is subcontracting, what is the term? What is the condition of subcontracting? Let me say this to you. Mr. Wolokoli could be part of a company that is subcontracting as long as he's not part of that process. but it's on that board. But he's not interfering, which is yet to be proven. Mr. Tuer is wrong because the language in that subcontracting he's talking about need to be clear. You see, when the U.S. come out and say transparency, accountability, and rule of law are missing in our government and it affecting our country, that is a perfect example here. What the guy, your so-called CEO, is talking about, have you seen the term, the condition that clearly states what is accepted and what is not accepted on any contract or subcontractor process? Have you seen that? Can you find it? He's not even reading nothing, because by right, he should be reading and say, look, according to this document here, all right? According to XYZ document here, according to this document, any subcontractor doing XYZ should go through this here. According to the PPC regulations, according to this section, he is not giving it to you guys, but he's saying according to Samuel Tuer. Now, let me ask you about Samuel Tuer. What is the role of Samuel Tuer? Samuel Tuer is the Minister of Finance, Planning, and Development. What does he have to do with any contracting or subcontracting business? You see, Samuel Tuer Jeffy, he knows everything, and he keep making mistakes and keep feeding to himself that he's doing well. The PPC in the country should be the one releasing the regulations. When Ellen was there, you will not hear Amara Kone or somebody say, Amara Kone say, people should do this, people should do that. No. Unless Samuel Tuer and Joey are not turn that whole process in their own favor, so he coming here now, but he should be able to tell us. So you see, when the man come and say Samuel Tuer say, that means Samuel Tuer run the entire government. And I think Tuer need to come out and explain himself. Because if this man is misrepresenting Tuer, it's up to Tuer to come and represent himself. Because there is an agency in our country that Double Jala used to run, that used to look at all the contract bits. So I don't know where this coming from. Back in the days, you will go on the Security Mansion website and you will see the different contract, and you will bid for the contracts then. The finance minister was not that involved going around and telling people about the rules. So let's listen more.
Because it's a conflict. And now you have just admitted that, yes, your company, some of your businesses doing businesses with governmental entities.
Look at how the guy lying like that. Look how he lying. The man did not admit. The man only explained that we compete in the businesses. You see, this guy is a con artist. He's not in the interest of Liberian people. He playing you guys. You either get to know it now, or you get to know it later on, and it will be too late for you. You need to understand this man. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't listen to the noise. Keep your focus. Keep your focus. He's trying to throw the guy under the bus. Why his intention are, I don't know, but he's not making no sense here for you to actually understand. He got no clue about what he's talking about.
Ministries. And you're going to say, Mr. Samuel Tuer, that it's not a conflict?
Yeah, but see, the point about it is that you have to be able to understand exactly, what exactly you're pointing to. So, like I said to you, I have run businesses prior to getting into government. It's not my first time. I've run businesses prior to getting into government. This is not my first time involved into business. So, as I got into government, I still maintain my business. I don't have a particular one source of income. And I think the environment is open for everyone to compete. I have not in any given circumstances directly, taking a responsibility to get a contract directly from the government entity. For instance.
Now, you see how he explained himself? You see the little opportunity that was given to him, and you see how he explained himself? I do not directly get involved at the end of the explanation. I do not directly get involved with anything relating to contract. And now listen to how he's going to respond now. At least you're getting somewhere now with what I'm trying to say here now, right? Now, give the guy the Wolokoli guy the opportunity to explain himself so you can get to know. I'm not supporting Wolokoli here because I know the government officials, majority of them are corrupt. But I don't want the man who is in the chair asking the question to be someone who is questionable from some of us. Because he's making himself, and the way he's presenting the question, is making us to feel questionable about his intent. Let this man explain, and then you take question from what he had explained. The man said, I'm not involved. There is a process. And let the man explain the process. But listen to what he comes to say now.
So what's the name of some of your companies that are out there that you getting business for?
Now look at that dumb question. The man already told you that I'm not involved with the process. Then you come here. What the need of your company out there and here and that? What are you trying to prove? He got everybody on the panel silent now because he had to take over the show. He got a piece of information that he didn't even substantiate. He didn't even verify. He come in and asking all the dumb questions. You see some of the reason why they black me today? Because they know when I'm listening to those things and start to post question, it will confuse them and it will start to educate most of the people, because there are some people who read a lot. They will read almost all the sentences responsive on that show. And when they start to see someone are making constant and concrete case on a discussion, it will start to draw our attention to them. This guy is a crook. He knows. He came out the last night and said, oh, we release everybody on Thanksgiving Day. We don't hold anybody out there. That was a blatant lie. That was a blatant lie. Yes, that was a blatant lie.
That you're bidding on. What's the name of some of your company? Is one of these companies the Atlantic Contractors?
You see the stupid question he asking now? You ask the man a question. You ain't waiting for the man. You come and say, what is the need of your company? What is the need of your company? Then you come in with the answer. It want your company Atlantic question. Now you see how fake the guy is. You see how he lying. You see how he fooling you guys out there. How will you know an answer to the question? Then you're asking the question. I'm not here to embarrass your hero, right? I'm not here to embarrass your hero. But from a standard process, from a standard protocol, is where I'm coming from with this thing here. Yes. All right. Again, I don't live in the Republic of Liberia in America. I live in the United States of where things are done with principle, with standards. If you're not doing the right thing, we will challenge you. And that's what I'm doing here today. This guy did not give Mr. Wolokoli the opportunity to be heard by you guys out there. And at the end of the day, make a clear and sound decision on Mr. Wolokoli. You ask the man question, then you say, do you have Atlantic, so and so? Now let's listen to that drama again.
Company Atlantic Contractors is one of your company out there.
So Atlantic Contractors takes a subcontract from a company that contracts directly with electricity.
It's one of your company, though. Let's just set the record straight. It's one of.
You see the stupidness there? You see what I told you about somebody explaining? So Atlantic Contracting Company will go to the main company that got a contract and it will subcontract. Remember, come to party with me, scenario I gave you earlier? Come to party with me? He doesn't want to accept that, because in that case, they are not competing at the first level. They will be competing at the secondary level. That is the main company that got a contract. We can't say, gentlemen, yeah, in the interest of fairness, you guys should compete, because already got a big contract. He don't want the man to explain that. He don't want the man to explain that, because the more the people start to understand. You see, he playing to the emotion of the opposition. That's what he's doing. And many of you guys are falling for those things. Many of you guys are falling for those things. He's not giving the men, but every time the men get the opportunity, Mr. Wolokoli gets the opportunity to explain, he makes sense. But he taking all the men's senses and trying to process it into emotional reaction, because that is what the opposition that on the show that Washi want to see. He should be an attack dog, a guy who wants to just destroy the guys. That's what he wants to do. He don't want to give you guys the real information. Jeez. Wow. Let me progress, folks.
Of your company that you're affiliated with, right? Or you own?
I have ownership in Atlantic Contractors.
Go ahead, talk to us about Atlantic. We got a list of your company that we want to talk about tonight. So let's start with Atlantic Contractors, sir.
Now, the media told him that he has a co-ownership. That means he's not the head. He's not. He's a part and parcel. How many percentage does he hold in the company? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So he's not even tailoring his question to how the man is answering. Oh, you got a company? Yeah. Instead, he tell the man, but how you guys go through the bidding process? Now you just told us that you guys are doing subcontracting, right? So that means you guys don't go to the government directly. Your company do not go to the government directly. You don't compete at the top level, right? You compete at the subcontracting level, right? Yes. Oh, okay. I got it. No, he doesn't want you to know that. And you see, that's why you see my brother Thomas here. He doesn't understand these things. He doesn't understand this thing. You see, Thomas didn't buy into this thing because it is not their background. And I don't want to pick on my brother Thomas here, but he lives in America here. You should know what subcontractor is. But you see, those are some of the people who are politically charged. And I don't believe the brother for reacting that way. You see, many Liberians will not respond, but they will rather react. And we need to be able to respond from understanding things. We just react. When you react, you become explosive. When you respond, you become a process. And that's what many of the guys just doing. They just reacting because they have been born into just reacting to things, and they are not responding because they're not understanding things. People are giving them things to just react to, and they're not making it to understand. So going forward, learn to respond based on your understanding. When you understand something, you will respond. But when you get something and then you react, you become explosive. You become toxic. And that's what happened here. So all the followers then would think that, oh, Randy not doing it, Reggie not doing it. But if you give that man the chance for him to explain and you get that understanding, then that when you become to respond in a very positive way. Because in order for you to respond to things, you need to what? Understand. And then your understanding will give you the better response. But if you want to react to it, if you see an incident, the incident will ask you to immediately respond, which is bad. Let me progress, folks.
That's why I say I got shareholdings in Atlantic Contractors.
Okay, talk to us. How do you get your bid?
Talk to you about what?
Talk to us about Atlantic Contractor. When it came into being, you are a shareholder, you part owner. I mean, what are some of the government entities you got your contract with? A government, governmental.
But see, you gotta get something very clear here now, right? In terms of giving you a very clear understanding exactly as to what pertains to me as a person in a given respect thereof is something that I will like to disclose to you or not to.
You see that now? So the man is telling him, if you give me you give me the opportunity to clearly explain to you what I should be able to tell you and what I should not tell you. You see, there should have been an easy way for Mr. Witherspoon to give this man. But you see, Mr. Witherspoon, he doesn't understand these things, folks. This man had not told you what he did for living in this country. And I'm not going to be the one to tell you. But I know that he got no clue about what subcontracting means and contracting means. He doesn't understand the different categories, or he doesn't understand the different levels. He got no clue. He's a jack of all trades, but he knows nothing about what he's talking about. He absolutely knows nothing about what he's talking about. But you see, in Liberia, when you become one hero, everybody wants to follow you. Yes, everybody wants to follow you. That's what they want to do. So he's just embarrassing himself here right now. He got no. Now he clearly had left the entire budget discussion and have eroded the whole process now to going after this man's company, to going after the man's thing and stuff like that. He making no sense. Absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. And look at the people looking over there now. Do you think Dr. Francis got any idea about what's going on over there right now? She got no idea about what's going on over there. Do you think Termini know anything about what's going on? No. These guys you're looking at here got no clue about any how subcontracting works, especially from a standard of how the process goes. No. But because he had been fair with these things. And that's why he's trying to utilize those things. He got no clue, man. Let's move.
But
No, you are a public servant, sir.
Yeah, but doesn't mean
Minister for Finance, you control budget,
Correct.
you control the
Correct.
money, you control the outgoing of money, you control everything. And you have companies, over
So-
14 of them, companies.
No, I do
And
not
you
have
will sit
14
on the
companies.
show
CEO. That's
Now you see, he putting words in the memo. What does it mean when somebody control money? And so you did not give this man the opportunity to explain himself so that you can get a clear picture of what you do. You're not looking at spot. Oh yeah, this one is this. You're looking at spot. Oh, this one is this. And then you sit over there and listen to this guy. You guys need to find something else to do. You need to find something else to do. This man will drain your brain down to the wrong places, and when you go somewhere else, you will be humiliated because what he just did in the past week or this week is in no way represent any process. Tell all about yourself. Do you run this company? Is the company Atlanta this, Atlanta that? Come on. Is that why you're called CEO? Is that how CEO behave? Man, let me progress here, folks. Let me progress here.
I will give you the chance to tell us how many companies you have dealing with this government.
what I'm saying. That's very incorrect. I do not own for you. You are cherry picking.
Okay.
I do not have 14 companies. No.
Thank you. You see, and you see the man explaining himself now. He came up with misinformation and decided to give it to you guys as disinformation. Like I said, if you give the man the opportunity to explain himself, he will clearly explain himself. But your so-called CEO know very well that many of you guys are emotionally charged. You don't want to see anything from George Weah because George Weah has created the problem that have fed into your emotion. And this so-called CEO know that you guys are trickle emotionally charged. So he will bring things up. And that is why he's not giving this man any opportunity to explain himself. When the man say one thing, he explode on it. He explode and he bring you up. Because the more explosive he becomes, the more you will follow these things. That's how embarrassing it is. Yes.
That's incorrect.
You name only one. I'm giving you the chance to correct me.
I also told you.
You have out there,
told you
how
that
many companies you have out there that is what a Cody, that you are now helping to generate from this government, that you're serving as deputy minister. You could, how can you control the?
Now you see, you see why he's doing that now. He's trying to rally the base. That's what he's trying to do now. He put in his own misinformation that was not clearly presented to you guys, and he's trying to spin it to his own liking because he know that what you want, that what you want to hear. How can you guys? But if you think about it, so far, because we are doing a set by set explanation, I know some people are very charged here, and like I said, this is not political entertainment. This is not political gossip. If you come here and you got a very low tolerance to a fishbone analysis process, which I'm doing here, taking things one at a time, then you might have well just leave, because I'm not here to entertain you with what's going on here. We are here to dissect what the conversation was all about, the main engine, the main reason this thing. I mean, you got enjoy it on the other side. This year now, we are breaking it down. So if you hear, oh, all right, let's go, all right, let's do the work. No. You're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. Just go to bed and go relax. Because I'm not here to rush the horse. I'm here to take my own time. Because you see, many Liberians are very emotional. We have rushed for 174 years and nothing in our country. But the country that taking a little time, they wonder, they're making progress. They make sure that every foundation is steady in the ground. They shake it. Say, yeah, that one is okay. Now let's go to the next one. But many Liberians, just how you see us, we are emotionally charged. Oh, my, that's what they take down. Oh, my, no. That's why I always told you guys, I'm not here for numbers. I'm here to have a discussion. I'm here to understand the mindset of some of these so-called talk show hosts who want to be talk show hosts. They want to discuss questions, and they have no clue about some of these things, and they want to tell you guys. You guys are helping to lower the bar of the Liberia Human Index. Yes, the Liberia Human Development Index, they are lowering the bar, and we're not allowed that to happen here. We will not allow that to happen here. Until we get the truth, Liberia will make progress. Until we deny the truth, we will grow in age and will not gain anything. So get it right. All right? Get it right. Let's get it right here. So you see his reaction there now. He's trying to rally out the base. So he's trying to spin it. Listen to him now.
Money. And you say you put out a bid publicly. And all the bid
I
come
did
back.
not. I did not. I have never.
See how he lying on the man? He literally lying on his man. You put out a bid and the bid come back to you. Did you hear the man talking about something like that? Wow. Did you hear the man say anything about that? That is why he don't want the man to explain. This guy is a pathological liar. He's trying to prepare himself now into a crook, as you can see him, because he has understood the Liberian people. He knows many Liberians, they don't analyze things. They just follow things. They don't analyze. This guy realized it. And that's why he's playing to them. That's why he's making fool of them. Wow.
I've never put up a bid publicly with a government entity for a contract. No, I did not.
You see it? You see, he explained now how he walking that guy's statement back. So you see how the man is lying? That's who he is. And that is why this show, the tabletop discussion, we're on the table here. That's what we do here. We're not here to come play the whole thing and just try to look for. No, we're trying to look in the mirror, in the crystal ball, and see who is actually red, and not our eye deceiving us to say that person is red. The man, you and I listen to this man, and now we're playing the thing little by little. We listen to this man. He never said that he sent bait out there. He never said that we'll receive it. But see now, the man failed the whole thing. Your so-called CEO failed the whole thing. He failed it. He failed. And he had given the man the explanation. You would have had a very good conversation because he would have explained, and from what he explained, you take questions from there and ask him. And you see a better flow. And in the end, no matter how wide the channel is, in the end, the channel will come to like this, and you will know who is right and who is wrong. But that's who he is. He may get out with some of you guys, but now with the Tiwa Talk Show, no, it's not going to happen here. No, I'm sorry. So the man just explained about what he just said. The man reversed everything and said, it's not what I said. And that's true. You listen to that here.
I have never done so.
What about LDC contract? What about LDC?
I do not have a contract directly with
LDC.
I do not have a contract. I do not have a contract, or the company that I own shares in does not have a contract with LEC.
There you go. There you go. You see, the truth hurts, and we must accept the truth. The man now he's now forcing his way now to explain things now. If you're opposition and you come on the show and you think I'm going to support you, you get it wrong. You need to understand. I supported the CDC. I did things for the CDC. I learned my lesson. And there's no way that I'm going to sit in front of any camera and praise your lacking and hide the truth. I'm not going to do that. And that's one of the reasons I keep telling you guys that I'm not too sure where I'm going to go back to Liberia to live. Because from what I see, neither George Weah nor the opposition going to make Liberia a better country. Because we don't believe in accepting the truth. I'm not that type. If I'll be the only man like Noah who built that ark for God, I'll be the only man based on my lesson learned to say the truth here. Because I know the truth will help our country. I'm not here to come sit down here and look at a man who don't understand what subcontracting means, who don't understand when somebody is co-partner or something, or maybe perhaps just want to just play to the emotion of Liberians and dodge the truth. I'm not that kind of person there. No, I'm not perfect, but I try. And that's why every time I come on the show, I try to show to you and tell you who I am. I'm not perfect. I'm subject to making error. But if I do make error, I will recognize I made the error, take responsibility for my error, hold myself accountable, and see how I can redirect myself. Because I know it's not in our daily activities and behavior in our country. We only worship people. So this guy now, he thinks what he's doing now is going to please you. But until we understand what the man is doing, for us to determine the next course of action, we don't want to hear this man explain himself. All we want to do is this guy here just going out there and giving misinformation to you. So at the end of the day, what will you learn? Will you accuse this man because you didn't get to hear him better and say this is because he's corrupt, let him get out of there? Then when you go there now and you see how the system works, then what you will say? Oh, that is the thing I made here. The reason you bring people on show is for them to give the audience the inside happenings to them so that they can be able to analyze it and make decisions for themselves. But this guy is not doing it because this guy is politically driven now. He's not someone who you want to look up to for any precise or in the middle information. This man is one-sided now. That's who he is.
What do you have
Directly.
with LEC, sir? What do you directly, but indirectly?
I do not have a
What
contract
do you
with
have
LEC.
What do you
That's what I'm
have
saying.
with LEC, sir?
I do not have a contract with LEC. I'm subcontracted by a company who owns a contract with LEC.
Thank you. Thank you. With that said, the only thing he needs to do now is to say, can you tell us the process? But no, he don't want that. Because that's not what the opposition want to hear. The opposition want to see this man being humiliated. We will expose these things. So listen to what would be the reaction now. If I had heard that, like you just heard it, what would be your next question? Would you explain to us how the process works so the man can break his own neck? But he's not going to do it now. You see how his face looking like now? The guy has schooled him now. He thought the guy was going to react on an emotion. He thought Mr. Wolokoli was going to react on an emotion to turn the whole show upside down. So you guys that are also emotionally charged, yeah, the guy, no. But the man, like I said, if you give him a chance, he will explain himself and you can draw your conclusion and determine the next course of action. I'm not saying what Mr. Wolokoli is doing is right, but I want us to understand the process of how things are done. This so-called CEO hasn't read to you any regulation regarding how subcontracting should be, because he had gone out there and did his due diligence by reading how subcontracting works and how contracting works. If Mr. Wolokoli is not knowledge about those things, he would allow Wolokoli to explain himself, and if Wolokoli start breaking his neck, then now he can take out the regulation and say, Mr. Wolokoli, with all due respect, hear how subcontracting works in Liberia. From what you just said, I don't think it matched up to this document here. And that way you will know whether Mr. Wolokoli is in the wrong or Mr. Wolokoli is right. He ain't got none of those things. But he want to put words in the man's mouth. So right now the man is schooling him right now, telling him about, I'm not part of any process. We don't get contract directly. Many of you got that right here right now. If you get a contract from the warehouse and you come knocking on my door, Randy, yes, I need your help. Do you know who I'm going to be reporting to? I'm not going to be reporting to the warehouse because that contract did not come from the warehouse. I will be working with you who subcontract me. I ain't got nothing to do with what you did up there. And that's what Mr. Wolokoli is trying to say here. We subcontract. That means the company that go to get a big contract, we're not on our level. We are in the Junior League. We are not in the Senior League. We are not in the Premiership League. We are not in the Championship League. We are in a local league. But when they call out to come and play, we play. How difficult was that? Let's listen, folks. You are watching the tabletop discussion, a show that look at reality versus fraud, misleading information, and we try to do our best to untangle those things for your own understanding.
I do not have a contract with
Do you
LEC.
know the company? Do you know the company, the individual that own those company that you are subcontracting from, sir?
Sorry?
Let's talk.
Now you see, the guy has schooled him now. Now he's using the terminology now. Do you know the name of the company that you are subcontracting with? Why is he asking for the subcontracting company now? What does it have to do with this? I thought the question was supposed to be tailored to this guy. Mr. Witherspoon, so-called CEO, this is not your era. Don't venture with it. You got no clue. They got her bamboozled him right now. The fact that he said, do you know the name of the subcontracting company? So that means he acknowledged that Mr. Wilcody is actually subcontracting now. Rather than his initial thought that the man was getting contract and doing contract. Opposition, I'm sorry for you guys. If you think I here to can support your man here, no. I have taken enough punches from CDC people, and I'm not going to allow you guys to see me as someone who's going to please you guys here. And that's why I'm under the conviction that none of you guys are going to change anything in our country. None of you guys. Because right now, I'm soaking it to you because you're told, oh, Randy will come and can't do things. No. I'm coming right in the middle. We are taking things from the middle. And you don't like it. I got a very bad news for you guys. Until you learn to do the right thing, I'm not going to be on anybody's side here. Ain't no many times you can ask me, Randy, what were you looking for? I'm looking for the truth. I'm looking for somebody who will be lying here. So now he asking the man to list for him the subcontracting company. No. By confidentiality, he's not supposed to review it. And when he say I'm not reviewing it, that's fine. So let's listen to him.
Let's speak truth to power tonight.
Look, listen,
Let's talk about
CEO.
this thing. Yes, sir.
CEO.
Let's forget about the budget a little bit. Let's talk about that to Samora Woodhull.
Well, I was saying you brought the topic up. You brought it up. The budget thing had been going almost like 30 to 40 minutes ago. All right? It had been going 30. Look at all your friends and now. They all saying that one and now. They all acting as spectators because he had taken over the show and don't even have control over the question he's asking. He had been going from one place all over the map. And Mr. Woodhull had just routine, his consistencies, and putting back the question to him. Explain to me what you mean by this. Now he coming back. Oh, they forgot about budget a long time. You came in and said, let me ask the man about himself. I hate to analyze this show then because I know I get on some people's feelings, but that's just who I am. I'm sorry. I'm not here to please your ego. I'm not here. Your unpleasant behavior will not stop me from explaining the truth to my religious listener here. I'm not here to make you uncomfortable. I am here to provide you with the information. And if the information making you uncomfortable, just take that step aside. Just take that step aside. You are liberty to do what you want to do. You are under no duress. You are under no obligation to be in the classroom here. I mean, on the table here. You are free to go and catch some air, and you are free to come back. We are not here for numbers. We are here to disseminate the real information so our people can be emboldened. Yes. We serve as the antidote to the lies, to the misinformation, to the misguided information that they want to put out there. Let me progress.
So this is not a budget conversation now, right?
No. We passed the budget. We're going to get something to talk back to talk about the budget. Let's
So
talk
we
about
should leave the
Samora
budget
Woodhull.
conversation now.
You see it now? You see how the whole thing become comical now? And my brother Eric is right. They are all confused now. These people have been muted for almost 30 minutes. I don't know how many guys did the counting of the time. They have been muted for almost 30 minutes now. The CEO came with his fake and misleading information to embarrass this man. But now the man is smiling now because the man had overcome him because he got no information. You see, the CEO need to watch this video again, his own video, and take a lesson learned. He must first admit to himself that I screw up, I dropped the ball, and go back to watch that interview with open mind, and he will learn. And next time when he comes back, he will be better prepared to not only ask questions, but to read about what is the process of getting subcontract, what is the responsibility of the person who got the contract with the main government, what role, how can you separate the sub, because if a guy let's say for example, if Eric came to me, and I'm talking to Eric Darcy came to me and said, J. Randy, I just got a contract here from the Ministry of Health, but I don't have enough men. I need your help. And if Eric say, Randy, I'm going to open a bidding too because I got other guys in. Would you want to be part of the bid? Yes. My bid will only be given to Eric because Eric has now become the secondary boss. And it will be incumbent upon Eric now to take anyone of his liking based on their experience and say, I want you to come work with me. So technically, we are now working, we are working for the government, but indirectly. Because directly, we are working for Eric. When there is a meeting where the government wants to discuss the project, I will not go there. Eric will be the one that will go there. And whatever Eric hears, he will come back and tell me because I am a subcontractor. You see, when you get a team and you got the substitute bench, the 11 players from your team are playing, you that on the substitute bench, you're not in the game. Even though you're part of the team, you're not in the game. Take a look at that. So Mr. Wolokoli is laughing now because the table had turned. This guy had embarrassed himself big time. Let's listen more.
Everything intertwined.
What? What intertwined? Your misinformation. He got busted. He got busted. He didn't understand anything. He thought he was going to school this guy, but he got beaten to the curve.
How does it,
Josh? You
how
cannot
does it intertwine?
But
How does it intertwine with my personal activities?
It's intertwined. Go ahead, Tomani. Let me
Mr.
drink
Wolokoli.
some water, because I got a lot of questions for Dr. Wolokoli today.
Why didn't you set up a blind trust prior to taking that position?
Say that?
Why didn't you set up a blind trust to avoid exactly what the question is?
You see, this guy they call Termini George, he's very sound. Termini George, in my opinion, he's sound. You see, what Termini George is trying to say here, Mr. Wolokoli explained from the get-go that he has been subcontracting. He had companies that he co-owned and he shared partnership. So Mr. Wolokoli now is trying to ask this very important question, which is a legal things to do to create to avoid conflict of interest. So you see, the question that Mr. Termini is asking is when the conflict of interest. So you see how Mr. Termini is asking the question. You listen to him. He's not picky. He's asking why. What did I tell you guys about why? When your child asks you, why, mommy? Why I shouldn't do this? Why I shouldn't do this? They are asking you to give an explanation. So Tommy is asking why you didn't create an opportunity that he calls some type of trust to turn over this company to somebody else. Now let's listen how he responds to that. In fact, let me bring it back so we can listen to Termini George. All right. So I will hold my peace. We'll listen to Mr. George's question and we'll listen to Mr. Wolokoli respond. Let's roll the tape.
A contract with LEC.
What do you have
Directly.
with LDC, sir? What do you, or directly, but
I do
indirectly
not,
you
I do not have a
What
contract
do
with
you have
LEC.
LDC?
Forget about all that jazz.
What do you
That's
have
what I'm
with
saying.
LDC, sir?
I do not have a contract.
Forget about all that jazz. We are done with Mr. Witherspoon. He screwed up. Let the tape get because we went too far back. Let that one finish. We'll listen to Terminal Josh, all right? So let's listen to Josh.
With LEC. I'm subcontracted by a company who owns a contract with LEC. I do not have a contract with
Do you
LEC.
know the company? Do you know the company, the individual that owns those company that you are subcontracting from, sir?
Sorry?
Let's speak truth to power tonight.
Look, listen,
Let's talk about
CEO.
this thing. Yes, sir.
CEO.
Let's forget about the budget a little bit. Let's talk about that to Samora Wodokoli.
So this is not a budget conversation now, right?
No. We passed the budget. We're going to get something to back to talk about the budget. Let's
So
talk
we
about
should leave the
Samora
budget
Wodokoli.
conversation now.
I mean, everything intertwined. You
How
cannot
does
be the
it?
judge. You
How
cannot
does
be the
it?
jury.
How does
You
it? How
cannot be
does
the
it? How does it
executioner at the same time.
intertwine?
But
How does it intertwine with my personal activities?
It's intertwined. Go ahead, Tamani. Let me say,
Mr. Wodokoli.
because I got a
Yeah.
lot of questions
Mr.
for
Wodokoli,
Dr. Wodokoli
but
today.
why didn't you set up a blind trust prior to taking that position?
Ask the question.
See that?
Why didn't you set up a blind trust to avoid exactly what the question is being asked and
Ask
avoid
the
the conflict of
question. Ask the
interest?
question. Why?
But I don't think there's a conflict of interest in the first place. I don't.
You cannot be
Wow.
part of, I think even you cannot
Hold
be
on,
part of
Tumani,
the.
hold on a minute. Tumani, I beg you, my brother. I beg you, Tumani, please. I hope the president is listening.
You see that? You see that now? You see that? You see that now? What should have been terminally follow-up question? Why you didn't establish a blind trust? And he said, I don't see anything wrong with that. Terminally second follow-up question should have been why? And let him explain to determine whether there is a leeway to conflict of interest. So Terminally was trying to come with a question. Look at this guy right above him. He's very animated right now. He's charged because he knows that Terminally is bringing sense to the conversation. Listen to what he comes to say about Josh Weir. When in fact, Josh Weir, then they're all part of that thing, right? That's how the guy is fooling you guys. I'm sorry. If you're opposition, you don't like Josh Weir, there must be a tangible reason from your understanding, from people who want to explore and expose the truth. Listen to what he comes to say about Josh Weir. When you are not even understand what the man is trying to say. So let's listen to your so-called CEO again.
I hope Senator is listening. I hope McGill is listening. I hope the legislatures, they are listening, both Senate and House of Representatives. You have companies out there that you own, directly or indirectly.
You see how this guy making ass of himself? Has he done any assessment to determine what are the people name that he putting out there as an example for transparency? Do you really believe what he just said? I hope the president is listening. I hope Minister Tour is listening. I hope McGill is listening. What about the PPC? The PPC in Liberia that's supposed to look at contract baiting. Why he not calling their name? The PPC used to be run, were once ran by Double Jala. Why can't he bring Double Jala on the show? And that would be my open suggestion to him. I wanted to have mentioned that in the end. But now that he's making fool out of himself, it's making me now to say it right now. I think it would be an honest thing. Since they're not giving Mr. Wodokoli the chance, let them bring Double Jala. Let Double Jala come on the show, of their show, and educate you guys about how contract and subcontract work in Liberia. That would be my recommendation. Double Jala used to be my tutor. He taught me math. He always used to do my homework when I taught him how. He ran our PPC on Elling. We had in King took him out of there. He is an institutional knowledge of how contract and subcontract work in our country. He would be the better person to explain to us what needs to be done and how we can understand it. That his area of expertise. National Legislature, Samuel Twe, Nathaniel McGill. Speaking about Nathaniel McGill, can he bring McGill here and let people ask McGill where he getting that money from? Can he provide a source? Everything now is going down for your so-called CEO. He has embarrassed himself. He just talking the shame now and sitting the shame. And I believe very soon he will walk the shame.
And you're giving favor to. We need more than one of them. We can go down the list.
CEO,
You say you are subcontracting.
you are making pronouncements about things that you know nothing about.
There you go.
That's what
you
you're
help
doing.
me. You help me understand.
That's you are making pronouncements about what you know nothing about.
Yes.
Sir, help.
Now he asking the man to help him understand. You know, it's too late for such a phrase now. From the beginning, he has said, help me understand by explaining. Because when somebody asks you to help them to understand something, they are asking you to explain. This CEO came with some kind of cheap sheet that he doesn't understand and want to add that he master of it. He screw everything up. Everyone, look at the face of Dr. Fraser, very sad, Keith Hassan, even our own man, the crook over there, Mr. Benjamin Senvi, they all have lost touch. You see, when you own a show and you want to be the Mr. Know-All, it tends to ruin the spirit of the show. It tends to demoralize your panelists on the show. I think if this guy had pre-discussed this thing with the panelists and they had rehearsed and had a better conversation as to how do we approach the situation outside of the budget discussion, they all would have been prepared to come and have a very tough conversation. But you see, the so-called CEO, he's very selfish. He's no different from the guys in Liberia. He wants to be the hero. He is on the panel with you guys, but because he feels that he wants to go above the pyramid, he got his own show on Sunday. But yet and still, when he come here, he wants to run the show again. He's going to be he will be his own downfall because he's getting very greedy. He doesn't understand the subject matter in every area, and he doesn't want to learn things, but he wants to act like he knows things. And that will not pass easily on the Tiwata discussion.
I told you I own businesses. I own these businesses prior to my getting into government positions.
How many businesses, sir? How many businesses?
I run an accounting firm.
But I thought he said the man had 14 businesses. Now he walking back now and saying how many businesses. You said from the beginning that a man have 14 businesses. I'm sorry for putting you in the spot today with your so-called CEO. We don't do things like that in America here. Your CEO and you're here that's supporting him. There's nothing wrong with your supporting him because of what job we are doing. But when he come make some things up here, now some all understand it will not work. It will not work. When you are a subcontractor, you don't bid for contract. Subcontractor don't bid for contract. I remember when we were doing the power upgrade in New Jersey for PSE&G. My company was hired directly by PSE&G in 2012 to upgrade their switching station and a generating station. We went out there and brought in subcontractors. Whenever there was a meeting being held in Newark, New Jersey, because in Newark, New Jersey is the headquarters of PSE&G. As a compliance specialist on the team, I used to drive from my area close to Philadelphia to get to Newark. That almost an hour, 15, 20 minutes. We would sit in our meeting and no subcontractor would be in our meeting. But when I returned to Metuchen, just so you that live in New Jersey, Metuchen, there where the project used to be. And there where I got to see those guys. Then we go to Bayonne and other places. Mr. Witherspoon don't understand what he's talking about. Subcontractor, they don't bid for contract. Whoever get the bid, bring them on board. He doesn't understand that. Somebody getting the wrong information. Somebody getting the wrong information. And you never verify. You see, when I tell you guys to check for verify, subcontractor will not bid for contract. They will only be subcontracted. That's why they call them subcontractor is like you got a substitute bench, you bring somebody in. That's what it means. He doesn't understand that. Look how he feels there now. He's looking surprised now. He's embarrassed. That's what it is. The CEO is embarrassed. Everybody doing their own thing now. Francel checking her live phone here. The crook here looking at something here. You're like, oh my God, they got embarrassing himself. Terminal is saying, I was about to ask the guys a good question, but this CEO here, he just messing things up here. So I just have to just remain statue here. Keep us on here like, oh Lord, when the show will be over.
That's where I work. That's where I own and work before I got
how many businesses Dr. Woodokoli?
See that?
How many businesses you
But
own?
I've been a co-owner. I say I own the business is not Dr. Woodokoli business. It's a partnership. It's an ownership that has a
Don't play that thing with, don't play that thing with me. I'm in businesses, investment business.
Your CEO say he in businesses. He in businesses. You want to believe that? Where is this man's website? I challenge anybody who follow Mr. Witherspoon to inbox me his business link. Let him inbox me his business link. As far as investment goes, if you work in this country, you work for a company that sells share to you, they can take money off your paycheck and you can invest in a company share. If you work for Apple, you work for Google, nowadays with the proliferation of the COVID-19 virus, many pharmaceutical companies, they are having better share now that you can buy. That's your investment there. If the CEO claims to be part of businesses, he's not transparent. So when he talk about business, maybe that only you he will please, but not me. I would love to see a website. I would love to see a financial report. Even if he run a non-profit organization, they should still provide transparency with their cash flow, financial statement. This man has not done anything, but he called himself CEO that own investment or got share in investment. That crap for you guys. That crap for you guys. The very company you work for in this country here, you go to their website, you will see all the quarterly report. The year coming to the end, all the report now is getting ready, or if some of it have been published between the first quarter, the second quarter of the year. Then you can talk about you got business here. Business my fault.
This is I partner with people who own businesses. Listen, you there. 20%, 5%, you there. Don't play that game with us. You are not speaking to someone that is not in business. I'm asking you. That
it is not the business the man is talking about. It is the process involved in a business. It is one thing to be part of a business, but it's another thing to be part of the process. You see, when you are a stakeholder on a company, you are not part of what the company does on a daily basis. Rather, give you update of what's happening. He cannot differentiate the two. Investor will only put money in the company for the company to do good business so that interest can grow. They are not part of what the company do. Unless when something legally happens, then they call for a board meeting, and then all the guys can say, my man, what happened to our money get to your ear? My man, somebody screwed that money up. That's the only thing. But then people who are in the driving seat to drive the company business, this man, he says that he got share in there, he got share in that. He know nothing about what's going on. And that's the confusion that he's having right now.
Dr. Woodacoli, how many businesses do you own in Liberia?
Yeah, but CEO, the point is, you asked me about a particular thing I've mentioned to you. So my point is, do you think it is okay for me to get involved into giving regarding issues? Don't I have the right to decide to disclose?
You're a public servant. You're a public servant. You are being paid by taxpayers.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I should disclose regarding issues.
Yeah, but Samora,
Ben, I beg you to come in, Ben. After this, I beg you. Minister Twerk him on the show. You see, you guys making it work so hard for this president and the minister, and McGill, and the rest of them that try to.
So he's telling you that what Mr. Woodacoli is doing is making it work difficult for Samuel Tuer. He's making it work difficult for McGill and Mr. Tuer. And Mr. Weir. So what Mr. Woodacoli has explained here today that make the work difficult when he has not been given the opportunity to explain anything. I tell you this much. Sedition, if you listen to me, Mr. CEO, I want to believe, but I will put that on allege. I want to believe allegedly that Mr. Witherspoon is subcontracting with Nathaniel McGill and Samuel Tuer. And if you're opposition out there, then he's not in your interest. He playing you guys. He playing you guys. He tried to humiliate this man that make the opposition happy. But then just within a few nanoseconds, he telling you guys, the opposition, who already cheering him up to humiliate this guy, that Minister Tuer and Minister McGill and President Weir, this man is embarrassing them. You see the confusion there? That Mr. Tuer, Mr. McGill, and President Weir, they are doing good. So your opposition, you're watching this guy, and he telling you that Tuer is doing well, that McGill is doing well. But as an opposition supporter, you disagree with two of them action and behavior, right? But he telling you now, after criticizing the man, that the people are doing well. You see why it's good to come and listen here. We're not here to provide political entertainment. We're not here to provide political gossip. We're here to look at the truth. What
to make a change. You guys making it so difficult. You are the deputy minister. You own so many businesses in Liberia.
CEO, can you name the businesses you think in Liberia?
I'm asking you. You name it. You tell the Liberian people.
But you see, he admitting that this man owns a lot of businesses. He's admitting it. He not even see, how I said in the case of McGill and Tuer, allegedly. He's coming up. You own businesses. So when you are just publicly, openly, we all know filter. We all know legal description that a man own businesses, as in more than one or two or three businesses. And when a man asks you, why are you making the comment? Listen to what he's saying now.
I don't know myself to own so many businesses. I just listed
businesses do you own? How many of them?
Give me a chance now, CEO. I just inform you the businesses I own. I just said that to you.
Okay, you repeat yourself.
Oh, repeat yourself. You see, he tried to, a giant of boa constructor trying to swallow some type of wild animal. Every trick the boa constructor has used, the animal still cannot be trapped. He started the whole thing. You know how long he been on the thing now to trap the man? He ruined the whole show. He been trying to pin this man to a one location. The man keep bouncing around because the man cannot be pinned so easily. You own businesses. You own more than these businesses. I don't own the big. Can you name it for me? Oh, can you name it for me? Oh, wow. You guys have been wasting your time the whole year. Listen to these guys. I will only agree with you if you just tell me, Randy, you know what? It's all about political entertainment. We ain't go to learn anything. We just want to because we during the time the show come on, we are less busy. So we just found, but there's absolutely nothing that I would tell you that you learn from the show that these guys are running here. No. I mean, you in conversation with me and see what the guys are talking here now. Does that make sense? The man cannot even differentiate what the role of a subcontractor. Your so-called CEO cannot even explain to you guys what is the function of a subcontractor in any process versus a contractor who had already been hired to do a piece of job. He cannot differentiate. He's giving misinformation to this man, and the man is giving it back, but he continues to give you this information. You own many companies. You in 14 companies. So from 14, it go to many. And then from many, it comes to 14. Where does he stand with his information? You see, if you don't have facts, your facts become an opinion, and your opinion will be debatable. That is what happened to your so-called CEO. Whoever gave him that misinformation, it doesn't have enough facts in it. And because it doesn't have facts in it, that's why it becomes debatable. 14 companies, many companies, subcontracting or indirectly. How can you be indirectly contracting or directly contracting? That makes no sense. You need to explain the difference of those things when it happens. But he's not explaining those things. That's the man you want me to take my time, my busy schedule. I can't listen to these guys. In the next world, but not in the world that we live in right now. Yes. There are some people on the panel that I have some regard for. For example, Termini George. I have a little bit of respect for him because he's well measured in how he discussed the issue and how he posed his question. Dr. Francie, she's still learning the process. And I think she's doing well. For me, she's still in the C minor bracket of understanding the issue. And she will only improve if she opens her mind. But the two Bonnie and Clyde crooks, Mr. Benjamin Senvi and Mr. Witherspoon, those guys are a bunch of crooks. They're only fooling you guys. They are not in your interest. They're playing on your emotions. So let's wrap it up quick here, folks. And again, let me apologize because the conversation, as you can see, my little classroom, I usually get a classroom of 10 people, but tonight it went a little bit up high, and I'm very happy. If I get 10 people watching me, I'm happy. You know why? Because for 174 years, we never had 10 people listening for every generation, and then within 3 to 4 generations, those 10 people will multiply to be up to 5,000 people to change the mind of our people. And that's why the country is like that. So today, as I discussed things, when I see 10 people on my show, I'm happy because I know they're understanding what I'm trying to achieve here. After watching all the different shows and see no sense in it, they come here and say, yes, J. Randy, we know where you're from. We know what you want to achieve, and we'll be here with you. You see, when Jesus started the ministry, he had 12 disciples. One fell by the wayside. Jesus did not believe in plenty number when he started the ministry. He just needed a few dedicated people. And today, there are billions of Christians around the world. Liberia has so many people looking in the wrong direction. And that's why our country is underdeveloped. That's why our country, it is the way it is. And I believe that one of the ways that our country can be better is to start with small numbers. When people believe in you, they will support you. They will not worship you. They will support you. All right? So let's listen to the last portion and then we'll call it a day.
I said that to you.
Name them.
I just mentioned that to you. I said I own an accounting firm.
Name them.
I just said I own an account. So it's for me to decide to disclose to you or not to.
No,
you cannot compel me to do that.
Where's
Hey,
your
Pastor
brother?
Stanton, can I come in?
my sister, Famara is here. Famara, stay uptown like this. Oh. All right. Thank God. Stay uptown like that. That's good. I love my sister Famara. She got an open mind. You know, Famara, I will say this to you. I don't know whether you ever change, but when you asked Mr. Cummings that question almost a month ago now, I was very proud of you. I could see my question being part of your question you're asking over there. So whenever I see you here, I always have to acknowledge you for that. You are the few who are standing up behind what you believe. It is not about personal interest, but it is about being Liberia-centric. So I'm very honored to have you watching tonight. I'm sorry you missed the show, but I will encourage you to watch the show again because I know you always go back to watch the show. But this has been a very interesting moment. Now, what Benjamin Senvi want to say here? You know, when Benjamin Senvi want to be asking questions, it can really, really irritate me. I won't lie to you guys. It can irritate me. They man took the Liberian people money and can't pay. Then he want to sit on a panel to be questioning people integrity. Really? Really? Is that how low we have brought our self-esteem now as a country and people? That people who are financially negligent, that can't even afford to pay debt, money they owe the government, they can't pay it back, and then they come and surface on a platform, and then you just go there in thousands and thousands, and you start watching them. Oh wow. Freedom of speech.
Can I come in?
man. Stop
Samara, let me
us,
ask
man.
you. And first of all, just that statement you made is wrong. You are a public.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you, my sister Marilla. Marilla is one of my pillows. Yes, I love her so much. She's very strong, and I'm hoping that in the coming year we will meet. You know, when I got out of college, especially out of engineering school, I used to travel a lot. Yes, I used to travel a lot. And by that time, but there was nothing like Facebook. But I used to travel a lot. I used to travel from one location, one state to another. I wish I had an opportunity today to be traveling to see where you guys are. So when I travel to a particular state where you are, I will try to do everything to meet you. But those days are over now. I'm getting older now, so I'm like office bound now. I don't travel that much. And I'm not looking for jobs that want to take me to be going from places to place. No, I'm not in that category. I left that one for the young people now to come into. But it had been my which or the few time I started Facebook Live to meet you guys that really support me here, and I support you guys as well. So let's see, maybe one day God will provide another ways for us. But I don't know, Benjamin Senvi talking about something here. Let's see.
Official. You are the deputy for fiscal affairs. You gave yourself an introduction here. First of all, you also understand that you are in gross violation of the code of conduct.
Code of conduct.
Have you read the code of conduct? Do you understand?
Now you see why I can get so mad, and some of you guys say, "Oh, Randy, you this." Who the hell is Benjamin Senvi to come on any platform to tell you that someone is in gross violation of the code of conduct? When this man went and borrowed $45,000 from the government of Liberia, not only did he refuse to pay that money, he ran away from his responsibility. The ethics that he's trying to preach here right now to Mr. Wolokoli, his condition is far worse. He took the people money and then ran away from the people and left them in there. And then he wants you to listen to him. That will never happen to me. That means I will take all my diploma there and burn them and ever tell everybody that I never went to school in my life. That to what degree I stand against this guy here. And some of you get in mind to sit down there and worship them. And watch them also. Now he telling somebody you are in gross violation. Do you know what were the term and condition and what policy was issued by the earlier administration? to take that money because Ellen was hoping to create a middle class. Yes, she was hoping to create a middle class through a poverty reduction strategy program. And that means they put aside certain money that those who run different companies in the country could get that money and open opportunity in the private sector for many Liberians to get jobs. Crooked Mr. Benjamin Senvi took advantage. Like I said, Prince Johnson is an advantage taker. Advantage taker on the show is an individual or group of people who knowingly will harm Liberians for their own selfish gain. We call them what? Advantage taker. They take advantage of people, so we will call them advantage taker. It's not a good character to be described as one. Mr. Witherspoon, Mr. Benjamin Senvi, they are advantage takers. Let me see what my sister Ciara say here. Next show. Thank you. Or she want to be very technical. She said, otherwise, a great show. She reminded me of this girl that I used to work. She still works there. She is a chemical engineer. She worked for the state of New Jersey. She came to our facility one time. She's from India. I think she was born here. Yes, her parents from India, but she was born here. She's a chemical engineer. She came to our facility, worked for the state. She followed too many technical words, and then she started to confuse some of our guys. But we managed to hold our own because we do have engineers, including myself. And after that, we just call her the technical person, and she always laugh about that. So when I see Ciara writing the kind of technical terms, it reminds me of her. They call her Priya. And otherwise, so it made me laugh. I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm trying to understand every one of you got character. Yes, I'm trying to understand every one of you got character. All right. So I think we should wrap it on that. Guy.
You admitting to, so I'm trying to put this in context from the angle of
what is the violation of the code of conduct, Ben?
Well, listen. Okay.
Answer the question. Answer the question. What is the violation of the code of conduct? Listen to how you're going to answer the question. You see, when you're playing with crooks, asking them question, a real measure question will embarrass them. The guy just asking, what is the code of conduct that I have violated? And listen to how you're going to answer the question.
We can go into the code of conduct. Samora, the bottom line here is this. The bottom line.
No, Ben. You mentioned a violation of the code of conduct.
Samora, you're not gonna act. You're not asking me the question. I will ask you the question, please.
You see it there now. You see how it's easy to expose these guys. He's telling the man that the man has violated a code of conduct, but he's not specifically telling the listener out there. He does somebody say, Jesus love you. But what part of the Bible says Jesus love you? Oh, don't ask me that question. Jesus love you. Instead of saying John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he said, "Wouldn't be that begotten son, that whoever believes in him should enter the kingdom of heaven." That is a direct reference of God loving you and Jesus loving you. He said the man violated the code of conduct. The man said, which part of the code of conduct? Don't ask me that question. Don't ask me that question. Is that why you guys waste your time? Now you see what was going through my mind when I tell you I don't know to watch you guys. These guys feel that many Liberians and a very large number of Liberians are not educated. That is what these guys, Benjamin Senvi, is your so-called CEO, they believe that even you in America here as a Liberian, not because you wear the next clothes, they think that you're not smart. So they will get away with so many things that when somebody measure those things and tell you, this is how much volume you're missing here. And that's what we do on the tabletop discussion here. The man ask you, which code of conduct did I violate? He kept talking, thinking that the man would slip off and forget about it. But the man remained consistent. Which are the code of conduct? Oh, don't ask me the question. So what? You trying to deny the man of his right to ask question, but you want to hold him to some standard? But don't be surprised, because that Mr. Sanvi character, he will lie and say he got so many addresses somewhere. And when the people go find it, it's not there. And then he say, I will call you back. And the next thing you know, he in America. So when the guy decided to ask him, provide me the code of conduct, and he knows that that question is going to hit home to many people, and what became his response? You're not going to be asking me any question here right now. Let me do the question asking.
You mentioned that you own a company that has some relationship with parastatals and agencies of.
Don't that really remind you of Mr. Benjamin Sanvi himself? You know, I'm 100% sure that as Benjamin Sanvi was asking that question or making that opinion question, his mind was running on what he did to the Liberian people. Because the question he's asking correlates exactly to what he did. He lied to the people that he had multiple companies, and the company was listed around the Looking Town Bowman Bridge. But then when the people went to check it out, the company came all the way down to the Cinco Bell, and he said the company had moved, and the people, when they look at the old address, a crook want to convince a crook, or a crook want to expose another crook. That's what Benjamin Sanvi is doing. And we're exposing here for that.
Government. That is conflict of interest. That is conflict of interest. This is, you got to understand, Samora, that this is the change your campaign on.
And now you see it now. So he didn't answer Samara's question. He put his own idea together, thinking that it's going to stick with everyone or almost everyone. And now he blended it now to the entire party now. Y'all campaign for this. Y'all did this. God, the show has come to an end. Yes. The show has come to an end. Benjamin Sanvi, the show has come to an end. So this has been J. Randy Dapo here. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. Let me apologize. Hopefully by tomorrow evening, we'll start sooner, and then we'll go down into Maryborough. Yes, don't miss that one tomorrow. Maryborough. Today we talked about Prince Johnson. If you missed that, go back and watch the show. We talk about Prince Johnson, and we are done with these guys. Let me say a big thank you to every one of you guys. And again, on the show, the Spoon Talk, the people I have little regard for, I will pull Terminally George. I think he's okay. He's very measured in how he does the thing. I would say Francelle, I'm still watching her. And Dr. Peabody, for me, my observation is he does a lot of listening, which is very good. He listens a lot. For K. Hassan, I don't even know he exists on that show. Because the guy came on my show and said that he followed him on Sierra Leone. He was very dedicated to making sure that Liberians benefit. But I don't think the role he plays over there is showing any of those things that he said on my show. For the CEO, it's just a matter of time that he will become and will be exposed. For Mr. Benjamin Crook Sanvi, all I'm asking him is to pay that money back. Make the payment arrangement and start paying that money back. And you will not hear J. Randy talking about you taking our people's money. Because the Christmas are coming, all the calls you're receiving from your friends, relatives back home, is because Benjamin Sanvi refused to pay for the $5,000 back. That money could cover many communities and provide them with chicken and other Christmas gifts. But Mr. Sanvi is sitting down here. And that's why I don't sit and waste my time. And if you came on the show thinking that I was going to do things to commend you, the opposition, or do things to praise you, the sedition, Then you see me here before because I've been there before and done that. This time now, I'm in the middle. I'm not for CDC. I'm not for opposition. I'm only for those who will be fighting in the interest of the Liberian people. When I read that letter from the U.S. Treasury Department, there were two things that hit home for me. One, it says that the government must acknowledge that corruption exists. And as long as corruption exists, it will derail our democracy and impact the people. I take that very seriously. Secondly, it also mentioned in our letter that we, as a country, government, and people, we lack transparency, we lack accountability, and we lack the rule of law. Tonight's show was mostly about accountability. These people were not really selling what it means to prove accountability here. Until then, have yourself a very good Saturday. Let me enjoy myself more, yeah? All right. Let me play something different for you guys.
You don't even know my story. You don't even know the story. Oh yeah, you know on the TV, I'll be a look. So moral. You post your new car on Facebook, but that's so la la. You working pattern, bluffing and acting jealous, say you photo. My advice for you in my way of confess, confession. You gotta confess. You must have the impression. Enjoyment, enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, enjoyment, come on, blessing. Enjoyment, enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, enjoyment, I come on, blessing. It's gonna be another man trash, just another man treasure. Another man fool was another man person. Got your good, I got into your man shaman. Got your good, I got into your man shaman. The player ain't chemistry, and the play you go there. Just because of impression, impression, fake impression, impression, yeah. You don't even know my story. Or you want to share my glory, oh, hey. Every girl you my way, oh, every oh, you my way, oh, every touch you my way, oh. Enjoyment, enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, enjoyment, no more stressing. Enjoyment, enjoyment, got your blessing. Enjoyment, enjoyment, no more stressing. Jaga, the hammer you driving and paying to keke. This a ballin'. The thing that we're talking, they must stay right here. Stop sporting money. I'll live in my life, oh. See, I live in my life, oh. Give it to you. Give it to you.
See y'all. Time to go to bed. Time to go to bed. Time to go to bed. See you guys.
You don't even
See you
know
guys.
enjoyment.
Oh my God.